man there. That's no doubt. We're at 8:42 now from your 105.7 Light FM.
Advisory services offered through Second Half Financial Partners, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. The opinions voiced and information provided in this material are for general informational purposes only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. To determine which investments are appropriate for you, please consult with a financial advisor. Second Half Financial Partners, LLC does not provide tax or legal advice. Please consult your tax or legal advisor regarding your particular situation.
You do that. Tax or legal advisor we're talking to is Philip Statler, who we do every morning about this time from Statler Financial Services in downtown Sebring. Philip, good morning. How you doing today?
Good morning, Dave. Doing well. Today's my Friday, so it's good to have a 3-day weekend, and happy 4th of July.
You always rub that in on me, don't you? Because I work every day. Yeah, the markets are going to be closed.
You need to find you an AI bot. You need to find you an AI bot that can run hit the buttons to play the records.
Now, there are people around here who think an artificial intelligence bot would do better than me anyway, right?
Yeah, never the case, Dave. Never the case.
Ah, bless your heart. Start out with yesterday before we get to the big numbers, because this was the government data dump party of the week. Yesterday we had, let's see, I'll get back to my current numbers from yesterday there. Had a slight off day. I do need to mention that the Dow hit a new intraday high yesterday, but it couldn't hang on to it. We ended up down about 14 points, which is about as close to flat as you can get. Standard & Poor's 500 down by 16. Again, that was 0.22%. No great shakes. NASDAQ had kind of a rotten day. They were down 0.66%, down 174 points. We are still rotating out of the tech stocks on those big funds. I can't imagine for the life of me why they would, right?
Well, yeah, and that's really a big indicator on the NASDAQ 100, Dave. It was down a little over 1.5%. That's $467. The Russell down another 0.4. So everything was other than the Dow. We couldn't call the Dow solidly red, but everything else was definitely solidly red yesterday for the first day of July.
And the NASDAQ index, you said it was down even more than that. I got to believe some of the fact is about midday yesterday, the administration announced that they're changing their mind, and they're taking all those military restrictions they slapped on Anthropic after they had that war with Anthropic over their artificial intelligence engine. They took the restrictions off of that. That gave a little bit of a boost to the tech stocks, but it is interesting watching the big money guys rotating out of the more risky high-tech stocks and going, I won't say it's a flight to safety, but there's definitely a shift going on, isn't there?
It definitely seems to be that. One of the things, I was trying to see if I could find it again. I swore I saw a headline that said that one of the AI companies, and I was thinking it was Anthropic, was going to give the government 5% interest in the company.
Well, that might have been why we took the restrictions off of them, right?
Exactly. That's what I was thinking, Dave. I can't find that headline right now again, but so don't hold me to it. But I found that interesting. It's actually OpenAI proposes 5% stake to the Trump administration to ease Washington pressures.
That could be interesting. They've been talking about that for some time, that the government needed to take a more active interest in artificial intelligence. I didn't know for sure they were thinking about a financial interest, but that does kind of put the government in a voting position to be able to help guide the AI on whatever level of rails they want to keep it on, right?
Well, yeah, it would definitely give them some insights too.
Absolutely. We start the morning out, and like you said, it's your Friday. It's also the government's Friday today. We got all the junk we usually get on Friday, the first Friday of a month out today. And the jobs report was absolutely el stinko compared to what they expected. Number one, we only added, according to the government, 57,000 jobs to the economy last month, and my pocket calculator exploded again because even allowing for the fact that we added a crapola number of jobs, the unemployment rate that you're going to hear about at the top of the hour all day, down to 4.2%. My arithmetic doesn't make sense on that, but that's what the government says this morning.
Yeah, mine either. Unemployment. I mean, we only created 57,000 new jobs, so it dropped by 4.2. I just it doesn't quite make sense to me either. Everything else though was pretty much in line with expectations across the board when it comes to hourly wages and that type of thing.
Pretty much. Yeah, hourly wages were up 0.3% last month. Annualized that, we're over 3%. That's adequate to decent. Average work week stays about 34.3 hours a week. That's normal. And first-time jobless claims, again, steady, 215,000. That runs abnormally low, but I'm still sitting on that 57,000 number. I did the math a few years ago. We have about a 250,000 18-year-olds entering the workforce every month. If we can't absorb them, then we got a problem. And I'm saying 57,000, we got to have a lot of retirees in order to eat up all the new entries into the job market just in order to hold our own. How in heck the unemployment rate could go down is just, I think Yul Brynner said it well in The King and I. 'Tis a puzzlement, right?
That's right. That's for sure.
Statisticians, you can always count on them. Not a lot of other news going on. We were talking before we went on. The immediate reaction to that anemic job report looked a little bit positive early on the indexes. I got to believe that's going to mean some of the Pollyannas in the market are saying, "Oh, good, the jobs suck. That means a lesser chance of a rate increase in the Federal Reserve this year." I'm not sure I'm ready to go out on a limb and for 1 month reports say that's going to change the Federal Reserve strategy. Are you?
No, I'm not, but it'll be one more thing. I mean, I think they probably have a few more numbers. I don't know. When do they meet again, Dave? Do they skip July, don't they?
I think so. I think the next meeting is August, so we got a good 45 days before we have to worry about them.
Yeah. So the other thing I would say, yesterday you were talking about how crypto's been getting really beat up lately. Well, it's bouncing back of those lows of, I think it got down as low as 56 or 57,000. It back up to 61,361 right now, up 2% this morning. It was up 2 point something yesterday. I think they said it was up 4.5% over the last 2 days.
It's kind of interesting. I've been noticing the Bitcoin curve has not been far off the precious metals commodities curve. Tanked down and then stabilized at a lower rate and then slowly, and I mean real slowly, crawl back up. I'm still trying to figure out what the big guys are using crypto for in their investment portfolios. I have trouble relating it back to precious metals like gold and silver, but the curve is amazingly similar between the two instruments, isn't it?
I think it is. You're right. It's and they don't always are. They're not always in lockstep, but they're relatively closely related together when we see those drops happen.
Yeah, when you do it over, multi-day average, I mean, the curves are similar. I mean, I cannot believe that anybody uses them for the same tool as part of their investment portfolio. But it does strike me as, really interesting that somewhere down the line, hedge investments tend to track each other not too terribly badly. The other tidbits out there, General Motors says their Q2 U.S. sales have fallen like a rock. And they said it's mostly because we stopped making as many different models of cars. Boy, was I surprised to hear that. Don't make as many cars, don't sell as many cars. I mean, the guy running a hot dog stand in New York would probably be able to figure that element out, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, I got a headline, Meta pushing into the cloud computing area right now. This seems to indicate that means Wall Street has to be prepared for some lower margins in that area, but it helped Meta yesterday and not so much today. They're down. They were up. I think it said they were up like 9% earlier or yesterday. They were up 9% yesterday, down about 1% this morning.
One of the little sidebars I read on that item about them moving more into the cloud was a couple of investors saw that as being an indication that they were losing interest in artificial intelligence as being their primary tool for growth, which I found really interesting. That would be the first one of the Magnificent Seven to say, hey, we may not make any money off this junk anytime soon. Maybe we'll try something else.
That wasn't a good sign, was it?
I found it kind of interesting. It might contribute to the decline this morning as well. Any other tidbits you found around the market this morning? It's going to be slow because everybody's going to head to the doors a little early this afternoon anyway.
Yeah, they will. Everybody's going to be heading out. I was trying to see if I saw the OpenAI thing was a deal. Oh, here we go. Apple plans 5 new iPhones through 2027.
Ooh, all the way through 27?
Yeah.
That makes it sound like they're even going to maybe even skip a year, huh?
Well, or are they going to roll out 2 this year and 3 next year? Or are they going to, they don't ever do anything all at one time.
That's true.
Oh, well, here it says through early 2027. So it's not even through. So maybe they're going to, and they've done that, I guess, kind of before, right? They've rolled out the Pro series and the other series, and then they roll out the less expensive ones, 3 to 6 months a little later.
That would make that would make some sense
5.
to me.
Yep.
Because the 18's due to come out in mid-September, and then in all probability sometime next spring, they'll introduce a new SE phone. That's their budget line phone with the less intense camera setup that generally includes all the other electronics, just not the fancy pants camera.
Yeah, and I think I don't know that they updated the SE this last time. I don't think they update it every time.
No.
And so maybe that's in the mix this time, I guess.
Yeah, which kind of makes me think that this would be an SE year because they didn't do an SE this year; they did it last year. So it'd be about time for them to have a new budget model. I think they do it based upon overstock of cases. Once it's about time for, well, no, I mean, they kept the form factor of the old iPhone 6 or whatever it was with the plastic rounded case until they ran out of them, and then they started doing the ones with the small bezels. I'm thinking as much as anything, it's inventory control that makes their design for the SE happen.
Yeah, whatever it takes, right, to get rid of it.
That's just a guess, but it just seems to follow that down the line. Before we get too far off the rails, let's reset the table here this morning because it's obvious it's a slow news day so far. Yesterday was a minor decrease in everything but the techs, and they had a pretty measurable amount of red ink yesterday, 45 minutes before we opened. What are we looking at this morning, Philip?
Well, we got some green ink this morning, especially compared to yesterday. The Dow's up 0.5% right now. The S&P 500's up almost 0.4. The NASDAQ 100 is up almost 0.5%, and the Russell 2000 is up 0.7. So some nice green ink to start the day. On the other side of the coin, we've got silver making some jumps, as well as gold. Silver up 1.7, gold up 1.25. Crude oil heading up the right way. We love it, Dave. Down almost 1.5%, $67.58 a barrel right now.
Could we see $3.50 a gallon gas before long?
It would be nice.
Maybe. Across the pond, the Asian Rim was not very impressed with our performance yesterday. By and large, everybody in the Asian Rim was off. The mainland Chinese markets had a major sell-off, over 2% yesterday alone. Over in Europe, they're looking at our futures and saying, okay, fine, everything's going to be cool. Average European index is up by almost a full percent halfway through their trading day, and I'm betting a nickel that's based upon the price of oil helping them. 45 minutes before we open, they're pretty happy. Hope we stay that way as well. What do I do to get a hold of you to try to make some hay for my retirement out of all this information, Philip? I don't know how to make this work for me.
Dave, it's putting a plan in place and having a plan that's going to help guide you through retirement that really takes a lot of the uncertainty out of it. Give us a call at 863-382-0037 to schedule your call. And then join us this weekend for the Statler Financial Radio Show, 6 a.m. and noon on Saturday, 10 a.m. Sunday morning on Highlands News Talk, 7:30 a.m. and 95.3 FM.
All righty, and we're going to miss you tomorrow, and I will catch you next week. You have a happy and a blessed Independence Day weekend, my friend.
You too. Happy 4th of July.
Thank you so much. It's 105.7 Light FM and Statler Financial Services. Philip Statler.
Hey, folks, glad you joined us today. Hope your week's gone well. Have a very safe and patriotic 4th of July, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye now.